going on, everybody? Good morning. Apologies, a little later than expected. Let's see what we get today. We have 30 seconds, so we'll see how we open real quick, and then we'll get our bearings. Aye, toasty. Without even really looking too far. Right, sell side here, obviously, and then buy side for me would be short term here, equal highs, with the untapped inefficiency. So for the time being, just going to see how we interact with this. And then we'll kind of get our higher time frame up. So I'm looking at this here. But anyways, let's go to a higher time frame real quick, just so you guys can see where we are. So we have, right, this is a 4 hour. I was kind of looking at this last week. We invert it, we use it, and now we're trading up inside of it. So I just kind of want to have those levels on the chart. This wick here also is going to be kind of important. So what I would do is I'd take the midpoint of that wick, which we're already at. Okay. Okay, so then yeah, we'll go lower time frames. Now we have this wick up here. We just cleared the high, hold the low. Oh, we might be super choppy this morning actually, fellas. We'll see though. I actually don't expect much movement. Clear the short-term high, hold the 4 hour. So actually, as I keep working down the time frames, I feel like in the short term, I'd rather see lower prices. Right, we're right at that wicks consequent encroachment. Cleared the short-term equal highs, and then the high, the 4 hours. So for the time being, let's go back to that 1 minute. Yeah, we delivered perfectly into that inefficiency. Right, we've cleared the short-term high. That's why we're looking at this one here. Short-term high be cleared. We break all these highs, and then right, we break through a low here. So we have that. We have the equal buy side pool, and just that inefficiency. So yeah, if we're gonna look for something, I'm just gonna look for something short. I think I'll try to maybe catch back into consequent encroachment here. Had pretty decent movement yesterday. Didn't take anything in the morning, was just kind of following. Right, nice inversion off of first presented. Got up and through. Create an inversion off that 4 hour, and then we keep running. I was here in the afternoon. I took a quick little just short, using the bearish fair value gap. Just into the low of the new week opening gap. But now, right, we're back here. So we said previous day high. We have that midpoint. So we have a lot here that's kind of holding price. Why I think we may consolidate this morning. Especially because we do have FOMC minutes. So it's a little bit different than the actual announcement. It doesn't tend to be as aggressive, but it could still kind of be choppy heading up into that. So at this point, okay, no fair value gap. So this is the 4 hour as we said. Just want to see how we interact with that on the lower time frame. Right at this point, we've cleared, did we clear this low? So we didn't clear that low. We have cleared lows in here though. So in the short term, if we want to go higher, right, we've already cleared some short term lows. Holding the bullish fair value gap paired with the volume imbalance. No fair value gap created yet this morning, so we're going to see what happens with that. But I want to see, basically, are we respecting the high of this 4 hour fair value gap now? Right, if we do, and if we can get back above this consequent encroachment level, we may actually want to push up for highs again. So far, holding that area. We're going to move the consequent encroachment. Right, we're looking at this bearish fair value gap. So we've hit the high of it perfectly. Now we're just right in between. 1 minute bearish, 4 hour with the 1 minute bullish here. Closed above buy side, we would often expect we're going to close above. With candlesticks, we see those areas become support. So I'm watching these equal highs and I'm seeing how price is reacting. Push up and through this fair value gap, we should be able to, I think, run at least, let's see where we go higher time frame wise. Look to the left. Let's go to a 1 minute real quick. Let's see what we got over here. So we have highs here, we have untapped. Just looking for something that can give us a potential target. Okay. So now we have yet to close above that. We did accelerate through it. We would almost expect now, if I'm going to see this, I would expect the consequent encroachment to almost want to hold us. Right, we traded into it a few times, hold the bodies, and then accelerate and close the body above its midpoint. So we haven't actually confirmed any closure above, because although we opened with a volume imbalance, right, this candle can kind of negate that and close back below. So that's just what we're waiting for. If we do negate that, just gonna have to wait for more delivery, or it's just gonna be sloppy delivery as it goes up. Okay, so we did hold that consequent encroachment. Now I'd want to see, are we going to continue to respect that and get a candle to close actually above the fair value gap? Or does this become a swing point to take us back into the higher time frame? So far, yeah. So we did to get closure above, first closure above, right? Holding off that midpoint. As we said, it is sloppy delivery, but if we're going to hold these discounts, we expect this to hold us. So now we watch. Do we hold? I would think we're going to accelerate up into this. Right? That's that 1 minute untapped inefficiency. We said we saw that buy side become support. We wick first and close below. So if we're going to close above that wick itself is almost a gap paired with the original inversion. So yeah, I watched this area, right? I would think we didn't want to, or we shouldn't get below that if we're going to stay bullish. Equal lows, we trade below the midpoint. Okay. So yeah, just watching here. This becomes my area of interest. Still above that high. No presented fair value gap yet. We do have a new week opening gap here. What's our opening range gap? No, oh my, very, yeah. Look how small the opening range gap is. So consolidation, right? This would be textbook consolidation. But I think we can get a short run into this area. We respected it a few times. Can we close above? If we can close above this swing point, I think we're going to try that inversion here. So we'll try to use this. We're going to go extremely low risk just because, as we say, we'd expect choppiness here. We can't close above that high. Okay, no closure. just want to get confirmation above that area first and then look for the retracement. We might close and run at the same time, but I'd like to see, oh, just like that. But I wanted to have closure first, confirmation that we can leave that range, then look for the retracement into the inversion and then the expansion. Looks like we're just going to instead close above real quick, use the inversion shortly, and then blast off, which is fine. Yeah, so straight into, looks like we're going to get right up in there. So at this point, as we assess, we may have to go first presented. We'll see what happens here. So that's our target. Look at that perfect delivery. I actually wouldn't mind now trying to flip this and go short. So I wanted to catch shorts. Originally, we were going to target the longs up into just higher inefficiencies. Once we understood that we can invert this, we were waiting for the confirmation. Instead, kind of like we spoke about, we get the closure above and the expansion all in one movement. So now I am really curious to see though, if we can create a first presented fair value gap here that's aligned with the high of this new week opening gap, and then invert that. I'd actually favor that and try to look for shorts. Just because we have moved a lot, right? I like these relative equal lows here. We held off of the first presented fair value gap that was down here. So that's what this area is holding. So yeah, first presented has been created. Let's basically see now, if we hold this and continue to run, then we'll just kind of miss that. I'd like to see a potential run lower. So that's what we're going to try to target. So that inversion holds, wick hold, that was nice. Yeah, if we invert that, we'll probably go in right away, to be honest. I'm really keying the high of the new week opening gap. That's kind of my area of interest. Ooh, aggressive hold. So that's more bullish, right? In theory, let's say we were going to try this. Well, I'd like to do maybe something. If we're going to stay real bullish. So far, we're holding that nicely. Debating if we want to try actually a little ends model. What's 5 handles? 5 handles would get us here. Nah. We'll be patient. I like the shorts. We're going to keep going higher, so that's the fair value gap. Yeah, it's a 5 minute as well. And then I'd go buy side. Okay. So at this point, all of our attention really just at the first presented. This is the high, this is the 1 minute, and this is also the 5 minute. So this is kind of the last inefficiency before the buy side. That's what we say that we'll often get stopped at if we're going to remain within the range. So yeah, if we do remain bullish, I do think it'll be from here. Right, I would like that. It'd probably be something like this, into this area. For the continuation, we would get up and through the 1 minute, maybe use that, and then hit the buy side. Yeah, I like the idea of trying to actually, create a failure swing here, get back below the first presented, and then target these relative equal lows in here. which would bring us back into, right, a first presented fair value gap as well. Midpoint of the new week opening gap. We still have midnight down here, so yeah, I'd want to see more consolidation rather than true expansion. Let's kind of hide everything here real quick, get a fresh look, because yeah, we've moved a lot. Right, higher time frame. We do have a 1 hour fair value gap there as well, so yeah, I wouldn't mind trying to get into that. Higher, higher. Oh. So there's new week opening gap high again. As you said, that to me would be the real sensitive area. So like for longs, that would be the best entry in my mind. I want to see that really give way, get back underneath, and then we try to go short. But if not, like we said, this will hold us, this will support us, accelerate us up and through this 1 minute fair value gap, and then get us into the high more than likely. Yeah, we can get 94. I mean, like I said, 96 wouldn't be bad. That's the actual buy side itself. So even if we did come all the way up here, I'd still try to aim for something back into this range. And if we just keep running higher, right, we'll just be offsides. Understanding we can follow the moves, but we're looking for something different. So there's the acceleration below. I want to see if we can't get the closure below that. Closure below would be nice. 5 minute candlestick now, so 5 minute fair value gap. Let's see if we can't close. We close below here. We'll use that most recent swing high to target the low. We do. So this is an aggressive entry. We're not waiting for the actual fair value gap itself. We're just going to use straight inversion play. So as we said, we did get the closure below. That's what we were looking for. So I'm fine entering now on the tap of the inversion. And we'll see if we can't get into, as we say, I like these equal lows. That's the first presented fair value gap as well. See what 5 handles aligns with. If we can get out maybe at a good area. If we can get new week opening gap or new day opening gap here, we'll try to take one off. That's a good area. Or that's the high of the 4 hour, which is previous day. 46. Okay. So yeah, I like that new. Let's see what we get here. So we left our fair value gap there as well. We like to see that, right? Just kind of aligning a premium with the inversion. So yeah, we'll see if we can't now get the run lower. To where at least, like we said, 5 handles from entry would get us 1.5. Back into the high of that, so I like that. We can take one basically at the high of the 4 hour. It's just gonna trade right into it, so I'll probably just wait. Like this, we'll buy one right there. So 5 handle partial, perfect. At that point, first presented, and in the inversion, we're just gonna go above the up close candle here. We'll go like that. So slight risk, or we cut down on the risk. As we said, for me, this becomes really the target. So that'll be our final exit point. I like those equal lows for sell side. This here is pretty interesting to me, so we're gonna partial one more at the actual volume imbalance right here. So that'll give us another partial. We can just buy one again. And then that'll give us one more for the lows. Which if we can get partialed out here, I think we may actually try to hold that for 4 hour consequent encroachment, so we could push a little bit. Yeah, I don't mind that. And right, in this case, why am I not waiting to enter on the fair value gap retracement and using the actual inversion itself? It's because as I see, like, right, we accelerate through this aggressively. When we accelerate back below it with that same kind of force and aggressiveness. Oftentimes, if a fair value gap does get created here, it'll get left open because, right, it's going to become a balanced price range. So as we overlap the original fair value gap, we're leaving behind a bearish fair value gap here. And we often see that those don't get filled in before the run lower. So we're just using that low-hanging fruit of the actual first presented. Right, bring that back up. So we're actually under new week opening gap. We're under new day opening gap. Yeah, I like that. So we should be able to partial out here. And then, as I said, we're actually going to just target midpoint of that 4 hour. So if we get below, that sell side, well, at this point, we're already break even. So if we get below sell side, I don't want to see, we'll go one tick above. We'll go round number, 59.33. Closure below the volume imbalance is good. So yeah, we should see price get below that and then deliver into our 4 hour objective. So there's the sell side. As we said, we may be a little bit greedy here. I want 4 hour consequent encroachment, one tick above. Let's just do it with this candle. There's a fair value gap in here. That's what I'm looking at as well, right? That's why I'm kind of targeting that area. Fair value gap right here. So at this point, closure below to me means volume imbalance, fair value gap. Should not revisit this. If we come all the way back up here before hitting our final exit, we'll find taking that stop out. Deeper retracement than we want. I'd want an immediate basically hold off of this sell side that we've just closed below and then to tap this, but I wouldn't want to see it revert back into that range. If we do, oh well. Could have got the swing low, got too greedy. I still think we get one more stab below this low here though. Got the breaker, got the volume imbalance flipped, inversion. Old lows become resistance. We can go back up into quarter level, so right there. Break down the anatomy of it, right? We're hitting that inversion. Let's see what we get. Matter of fact, we'll just go right below that low. So if we can get one more swing low, we'll be out. If we get the retracement, that's fine. Choppy as we expected, but we know what we're looking for, so we're able to catch this. Probably be our only trade here if we get stopped out, or I mean taken out. Stopped out either way actually, so stop out or TP. I'm gonna go like this, fellas. I'm just taking that out there at that sell side. Oh my, don't need to be greedy. Manually close it once we hit that. If we can get a tap of that one more time. We may have missed it. We may have missed it. Doesn't want to give it to us. Boom. Nice. So yeah, I still think we can get midpoint, but as I said, I'm fine taking off there. Let's watch and see though. Yes, sir, I do stream pretty much daily. 4 or 5 times a week. So yeah, we want to see basically this low, and then we'll watch for the 4-hour here. Oh, you're not going to give me the swing low. I was trying to get a swing low exit. No swing low exit. Holding that nicely. See if we invert this little bearish fair value gap that's right here. Yeah, first that was clean. Exactly kind of what we wanted to see. So as we say, if price is going to do what we expect and pan out as we predict, can't hesitate to enter. We low ticked that candle, that's funny, but we couldn't get the swing low. I wanted this exit here. It's not satisfying. I should have just took the exit here on this low. That'd have been nice. It's my one issue, my exits. I can never get the perfect, or at least I feel like I can't. It's the one time I get greedy. So now let's see, what do we do? We've kind of done the work, right? We cleared the buy side. We left a new week opening gap. We inverted back below and held that beautifully. We accelerated back below. So now actually, I do think we should be able to get into this 4-hour and at least this. If we're going to keep going lower, right, the low of the new week opening gap, which is the white shaded area here. So there's the run on that low. Let's see if that turns into a swing point. What I'm really watching is if we run that low and still hold this sell side, and then invert this bearish fair value gap. I know we said we're only going to be one trade, but we might try to actually take a quick scalp in the other direction back up. We can even just, doesn't even have to be 1 to 2. Watch that, to be honest. If we invert that now, yeah, I wouldn't mind that. Back into the range, high to low, equilibrium gets us probably to the volume imbalance. High to low, equilibrium gets us even above it into the fair value gap. You took a trade yesterday that hit TP, good shit. You thought I would have taken the same trade. Hey, that is good. Yeah, it's a good thing. That's how you know you're learning, growing for sure. I kind of stream the way I do, right? Talk through my thoughts a lot because I feel like it helps y'all just learn. At least that's what helped me when ICT did that. If you can figure out how someone thinks, right, it's pretty easy to learn how they trade as well. Have those same thoughts. Okay, so far we hold the bearish fair value gap. So if we're going to hold bearish, we hold from the premium. Right through the 4-hour now. Ooh, slicey. So look, that's a low, right? Where are we going? Perfectly into the low. Man, just love price. Oh, just love this trade and stuff. So nice. Okay, so still same idea, to be honest. Now, right, I'm not thinking that we're going to run bearish. I think we consolidate in here. So if today's going to be, right, opening up and being consolidation or being choppy, we're not going to get true moves lower. So to me, I think we would run back into this range. So I'm gonna wait for now. It's still the same thing. If we get back above the original sell side pull and invert now a premium that sent us lower, right? So this premium fair value gap is what creates the leg that breaks this low and closes below it. So if we close back above, it should be a key area, key flip point to now support us higher. And then we'll have a new swing low put in place. So yeah, we're not getting in early, not anticipating anything. Right at this point, we need full closures above. So now I watch as we come into this 1 minute, we've traded into the low of it. This candle closes back above, so now it's become repriced. As we close above, it's become rebalanced. So now in theory, if we do want to truly hold bullish, we should hold that. So that's kind of what I'm watching, right? If we hold this 1 minute and then we accelerate through this 1 minute bearish, getting back above the sell side, that to me would be that bullish flip we're speaking of. And then we could look for just quick longs back into this range. As we said, I will just try to target like this, an inefficiency that's slightly above equilibrium. If we just keep going lower, right? If we just keep holding premiums and we keep kind of selling off, that's fine. We've already done our work, so we don't need to be present for anything else. Kind of as we said, right, we're respecting that area. Here comes a retest of that sell side. So if we're going to remain bearish, this also would be a key area to look at. Right, we have the high, we have a low, and this leg is the highest high. So as we break through that low, this is where our breaker will be. And that's also why once we hit sell side areas, it's pretty smart to kind of just sit on your hands for a bit, right? Let price play around, give you a clear indication if you're not already sure of where price is going to go. Like if we're in a trending environment, right, we would already be trying to short here, but because we're more in a consolidation environment, that's why we have to wait, in my opinion. Closure above sell side looks like it will be coming. It does, cool. So now already, say you're very aggressive, you could almost try to use the most recent down close candle. As we said, to me though, this is the true flip point, this bearish fair value gap. So while something like this is valid and you can try it, right, to me that's higher risk, lower probability. We could easily hold from here again and slam right back below. Kind of like, looks like we're about to do that. I'm glad you find it helpful, Scotty. As we said, that's all I'm trying to do. Share some knowledge. ICT can be difficult just because there's so much information, right? So it could be hard to put it together. So if I could at least give a little blueprint of how I work with the concepts, helps others out. What about 3 drives into the midnight open on both? I mean, yeah, I wouldn't mind that, right? If we want to come all the way back down into, pull up these indicators we had. Midnight for us was right here. We've already hit it once perfectly. That's kind of why I was watching that low, right, as a protected low, especially because we held that fair value gap. But yeah, if we're going to get below this 1 minute, we should attack the midnight. And then if we're going to be real bearish, like we could really revisit the low of the 4 hour, go to a 4 hour. Close the indicators. So like if we're just going to be extremely choppy, right, we could wick the high of that 4 hour, we can come back down, wick the low of that 4 hour, especially because we have a 4 hour bullish fair value gap as well. So we can kind of just get stuck in between these two. Wouldn't be surprising. For me, as I said, if we can get below this 1 minute, that's this 1 minute that's right here, I think we should be able to venture below into these lower objectives. So there's the midnight level again. We could take a quick look at, oh, we actually close on that. So do we go continuation? We might get continuation. What's 5 handles? Into first presented 4 hour low. Nah, that's tough. Just because it's also the new week opening gap low. So yeah, I'm content just sitting on my hands. Well, we caught our trade. As I said, when we're in consolidating conditions, as I believe we are, best trades will come at the extremes of the range. Right, so this is the consolidation. We get the extreme of the range right here, the high of that range, and then we're able to take it to the low. So now we're really at the low, right, of this range. That's why I'm kind of preferring to see us go back up inside of it rather than hold it bearish and keep running. So far, right, the fair value gap has not been broken. I see, Max. And I agree with you. I had that issue for sure when I was learning. There's just so many things to try to put together at once. Which you shouldn't do anyways, right? What you should do, and what I had to eventually end up doing, is just get good at one PD array. Kind of master that. And then move on to the next. But that's not what most people do. Don't blame them either. It's hard. You see all the shiny toys, you try to use them all at once. Information overload, analysis paralysis. I've kind of learned over the years that, right, the concepts are really just a language. And that he's teaching you the concepts so you can understand the language to then build the narrative, which is what really is important. And we've kind of said that in the past, right? Narrative will always outweigh the actual candlesticks. So you have to understand the narrative and then just use the candlesticks and the PD arrays once you're in sync with the narrative. That's when the best trades will play out. Holding that pretty nicely. So yeah, holding that right. It's why, because it's the 1 minute and it's the 4 hour midpoint. So when we see things like that overlapping, we expect areas like this would hold. I could almost, that's probably also the midpoint of this range we're in, to be honest. Let's see. Low to high. Yeah, so just below. Right, look what, that's what we're slamming into right here. So at equilibrium of this current range, low to high. No, we cannot. We're busy. Oh, sorry. All right, let's see if we get the closure below though. Closure below, as we said, could give us some expansion lower. I would look for the low, the 4 hour equal lows right there. So, choppy. So I mean, on a 5 minute sense, we have no 5 minute, we have no 2 minute. Yeah, there's no inefficiencies in here. So real choppy, but that's what we expected. It's the beauty of these concepts. You can expect consolidation as well, know when it'll form. I think we will do a little thought experiment. If we do close below that, we're gonna follow that bearish to try to get to the low of the 4 hour fair value gap. But yeah, that's just hideous. Okay, we swept that low. So now if we can sweep this low, accelerate, let's get bullish. Right, I would feel more comfortable and confident trying to long back into the range. If we break below this and keep running bearish, that's fine, but I like the idea of trying to come back into this range that we've created heading into the morning session. Holding, right, because this is also, as we say, new week opening gap below, midnight level as well. I almost want to do this, to be honest. That low doesn't get broken. Back up into previous day's high. That's kind of juicy. When we trade in consolidations, it's best to find, right, the higher time frame key areas. Oh, look at that 5 minute volume imbalance right there. Right on midnight, we might try that, to be honest. Midnight level entry. Stop loss below, down close candles. consolidation, we break the consolidation low and hold. We'll try one more entry for the day. This will be like a turtle soup, with the belief that this is all fake chop to go higher. So if we do break lower, it'll be manipulation. Trying to decide, I kind of want a bigger stop. We do have a 5-minute fit. Oh, less the breaker, low, high. How do we hold that? Ooh, I don't like how we held that. Okay. So watch, we just hit that midnight again. See if we want to get back above the fair value gap that's here. A lower quarter. Okay, we'd watch and see. Can we get back above the 1 minute here? Because right at this point, we close below midpoint. We can't get above it. We wick through it, and then we close below. First candlestick to close below. So as we said, if we're going to run bearish, it would be from here. We'll see if we can't reclaim that. We do have the low of the new week opening gap as protection. So you'd want to see if you can't, reclaim the 1 minute, get above that ideally, and then try to run into the objectives we had up here. Yeah, like that. All right, hit the midnight level again, hit the low of the new week opening gap. We have those off just so it's not so cluttered, but we understand that's right where these are. Basically this low. So now we would watch, if we reject midpoint here is kind of where I would expect that rejection to take place. Okay, so rejection off that midpoint. I'm expecting that, or I'm looking for the midpoint here, just because as we mentioned, we come in and we close below the midpoint of it once. We then retrace, close back above. We close below the midpoint again. Very next candlestick tries to leave higher. It's all wick, and then we close below for the first time. So as I see that, in my mind, this fair value gap here has already been balanced. Right, we come down, we trade back up, and then we push and actually close below it. So at that point, the midpoint is really all that would have to be retraced into if price wants to keep running lower. And that's kind of what we get. So we tap that midpoint, we can aggressive wick lower. I still want to see higher prices, to be honest. Because I'm noticing right every time that we're running a low, it's really all wick. It's like when we run out these lows, aside from the initial run that we took part in, but that was all just to target the sell side. Right, once we do that, we hit that sell side, it's a wick. This candlestick, a little more aggressive running this low, but still, right, wicks and holds. And then now, same idea. Anytime we're trying to go lower, it's just a wick. This candlestick here, we run out these lows, just a wick. Right, even this candlestick here, aggressive run lower, just a wick. So if we can invert this or reclaim it anyways, I like the idea of still getting up there, back up into this range. May just be getting some choppy though delivery into this low of the 4 hours, so we'll just keep following it. I had pulled up at one point the lower quarter level because I'm going to expect price to want to reach into that. That's what that is there. Notice how it kind of aligns, right? Look with these lows over here. So we clear out those low. Did we clear out that low? We clear out this low. Oh, we got both lows actually. Did we? Let's see. Okay, so we did get both the lows. Yeah, for me, I'd wait for longs. So we'll be done for the day, unless we can get some type of short-term potential bullish setup. But if not, we'll just watch to close out. Midnight has yet to give way though, so that's why I still like the idea of trying to get higher. Higher time frame. Ooh, 5 minute. I lied. 5 minute has closed below midnight. Now we've actually closed below. Okay. So now we may kind of reassess here. Let's go. So I'm looking at these higher time frames now. Let's bring up these indicators real quick. And I'm looking at how, okay, so on a 5 minute chart, we invert this 5 minute fair value gap, and then we actually create a 5 minute volume imbalance here as we leave the new week opening gap. Notice that. So that volume imbalance is perfectly aligned with us leaving that new week opening gap and closing below for the first time. That's a 5 minute. 2 minute has also closed below new week opening gap. And now same with the 1 minute. So actually, as I look at that, right, that to me makes me think we're gonna run into new day opening gap here. And then maybe the low of the 4 hour. Yeah, okay. And right, really at that flip point, as you said, if we're gonna close below the 1 minute, that would really be kind of the flip point. We close below it, wick into it once, and then perfect delivery into that. So that itself could have been nice. I didn't take it, really had no need to, but just short little ends model like that. So there's new day opening gap from when's this one? Let's see. Oh, it's gone. What? This must be a first presented. Oh yeah, okay. It's a weekly first presented, so that's even more important. I didn't realize that. So actually, I still like bullish, but that was a short-term run lower. To go higher, we're gonna have to go lower. Retesting new week opening gap low. So that should be an area of rejection for us. So although we may invert this, that's just gonna be sketchy with us smashing into the low of that new week opening gap below now. I mean, we shouldn't really, if we invert that, we should hold that. We should hold the low of the 4 hour. We do invert that. I'm just hesitant. Don't really trust the, let's see, short-term low cleared. Yeah, that new week opening gap below is just giving me too much hesitation, so I'm fine leaving it. If we can get some type of setup up here, I'll still try to do that, but for the time being, this is kind of just how I filter out trades personally for myself. Right, it's perfectly valid to look at this inversion here. So short-term low cleared into a discount, first presented, inverting the bearish fair value gap. Right, that could be used as entry, stop below this swing point. But just because this new week opening gap is here, and it's also the 5-minute volume imbalance, right, that causes me a little bit hesitation. So I would rather see price get above that and then look for an opportunity, because we could get faked out. Right, we could easily hold here, fall right back through this, we're claiming it bearish, attack a low again, and then reach for the low of the 4 hour as we're mentioning. So for me, I'd rather see us kind of hold the discount, right? If we can hold the discount, expand, and then try to hold another one, that's what we'd look for. Because if we look in this leg, right, still no swing high has actually been closed above. So ever since we really, like, right, we exited here, we create that swing point, and then no swing high from here has been broken. So that swing high is protected. This swing high inside the bearish fair value gap gets held. This swing high that smashes into the fair value gap gets held. These equal highs then get held. Right, the most recent swing point here gets held. We break lower, trade into the inversion, that high gets held. Another swing point here, held, and now equal highs. So we do have a lot of buy side, but no true break in structure. Right, so we can easily kind of keep maintaining this ugly, sloppy delivery lower. I like how we're holding that right now. So if we can get above the volume imbalance, we'll try to use that with the most recent swing low there. But until then, it's nothing to do. Shoo-a-doop-doop-doo-doo. Boom, okay, so another run lower. Right, that's why we wait. Once again, filtering out fake moves, fake fair value gaps. I would think if we're gonna go higher, we're probably gonna rip higher at one point. And now in my mind, we're just engineering equilibrium to align with. Yeah, look at that, right? So that aligns with that low. Okay, I still favor that. I still want to see price go higher. This may be an OB right here. Let's watch this. So no upwards wick on this candle. Basically what we're going to watch and see is if any candle that breaks above this leaves any type of discount. Because this will be the key candlestick here. Not really paying attention to the inversion, so I'll just move that for y'all. Look at that though, oh my, just look at the way candlesticks close there. First presented of the week. So now we're revisiting the 5-minute volume imbalance. We've closed above this candlestick here. So now I'm watching to see, does this candlestick's high, which is also its open, offer us anything? And as we said, if we close above this high, do we leave a fair value gap? So now for me to feel comfortable If we leave this fair value gap here and this candlestick closes above the volume imbalance, we'll go ahead and take that trade. That is kind of what our criteria needs to be for entry, because then now we'll clear a short-term low. We'll turn that into the OB we're looking for. No upwards wick broken with the fair value gap. After clearing the short-term low, we'll be able to anticipate that fair value gap, which to me means that, right, we should be able to hold. And then if we close above the volume imbalance, that should be us closing above on a 5-minute as well. Did we? Oh, we didn't. That's unfortunate there, actually, because now we opened with one. So see, this is where it gets tricky. Had this candle closed above, I would, no hesitation, I would buy right here. This candlestick is unable to close above, which means the 5-minute is also unable to close above. So now we're still really stuck under this. So this is still valid, but it's just, in my mind, higher risk because we haven't confirmed we want to go higher. So what I may do actually is wait and see if we can't get any candlestick to close above that volume imbalance. This may be all price is going to do, so this could be our entry. We may have missed it, and price may just run. Which if it does, that's fine. Right at this point, more so just following order flow, trying to be on sides. So I do like that. Right, it's doing kind of what we would expect. I just want to see confirmation above the volume imbalance personally. And then I think we'll retry to use that fair value gap. Because at this point, we've already hit it, right? So now if we're going to come back down into it, right, notice the perfect delivery into that. So I'm looking at this. If we're going to trade back into this fair value gap, we should move away rather quickly if this is actually going to hold. If not, it'll fall right back over itself, and then we'll be stopped out quickly. So either way, we should get, right, either correct or incorrect quickly here, which is kind of what I like, to either be wrong quickly or right quickly. Okay, so now we'll wait and see. We entered there on that fair value gap OB. What we would need to see basically is price now maintain and hold above the volume imbalance. If we close below this fair value gap, I would more than likely think we're going to get stopped. We're going to retest the first presented down here. As we're saying, this is just higher risk entry because price is not closed above on the higher time frames. So we're kind of trying to anticipate a quick reversal. And those are always just, right, riskier because we don't have true backing behind the trade. Right, and as we see, as we said, aggressively right below, that's fine. So now we watch for the stop out. This low here should be protected. So if we're going to come all the way back down and get stopped out, we'll want to be out below this first presented fair value gap. We'll see if we create this as a swing point. If we can hold this swing low and accelerate, we'd want this candlestick to be the most recent swing point now. Especially because we've opened with the bearish volume imbalance, right? So we kind of need to negate this and ideally get right back above. Because now we're below here. So we could use that in the short term, especially because, right, notice that wick, as we said. If we're going to wick, close below that wick, more than likely that becomes an area of resistance. So for us to feel any type of confidence, this candlestick would need to basically negate the volume imbalance and close back inside of this original bullish. It looks like it's going to hold lower, which if that's the case, more than likely we'll probably just get stopped. Yeah, so we do hold lower. Okay, so yeah, I would say we're probably going to get stopped. This candlestick will run out this candlestick's low. Bearish fair value gap. If we can hold that first presented, that'll be nice, but if not, that's okay. That'll be it for us today. So we did put in a new swing point here. So yeah, I would want to see this candlestick push right up and through this bearish fair value gap. If we can't and this swing low gets attacked again, we'll probably get stopped. So That's what we're watching. At this point, high of the first presented is what I'd want to hold us. This candlestick comes into its midpoint. This candlestick runs out sell side and trades below its low, closing back above. So now, right, if this really does want to hold us, we shouldn't get back into its midpoint. This candlestick tries. Notice how the bodies are holding higher. So I do like that. So yeah, this would be kind of our last line of defense. If that low gets taken, we're out. Yeah, brother, you could ask whatever you like. We just chilling. So far, just ugly. We haven't even got into that fair value gap. All right, retesting, as we said, if we get below midpoint, probably stopped. Here it comes, boom. Okay. So still just choppy. That's fine. Back to the sidelines. 10:30 right now, so the opening range has been put in. So this should give us a good indication, actually. I still favor us coming back into the range, but if we do hold and break below, we may have to look for lower prices into a lower day. As we said, right, high risk here, no higher time frame was able to close above, so that 5-minute volume balance does hold us. This is a higher risk entry, we understand, so that's why we take, right, at lower risk as far as risk percentage. We were trying to catch kind of a lower time frame. Quick run up just to clear out some of these highs. Instead, all the highs get left behind. We hold from there and just get another run lower. So now we'll watch and see what we do here. At this point, I'm not really in a rush to do much either way. Right, I had a nice trade already this morning. No need to give it all back. Okay, so realistically, 2,800, okay. Equal lows, so yeah, we should hold that, to be honest. Oh, but yeah, Benny, you could ask questions if you want, man. I might not have the answer, but I'll try. If you're saying trade like money and put trades on, no. He's always been someone that, right, would point out to where price would go and what we should expect. He's done paper trades. So, I mean, that, he's done like live executions for sure, but he's never sat out there and traded like a live account for real money. He has shared, I'm trying to think, he has shared live broker statements from a live account. He has done that. Man, how are we not ripped? That's the low of that. Okay, so now maybe. My thoughts, I mean, what can I say? I guess I can just start by saying I think it's smart to separate, right, the person from the information. So I will say he is a character, that's for sure, which rubs people the wrong way at times. But in my mind, right, his stuff works. It's hard to debate that. I feel like anyone who's actually spent time to just test his theories will find that they do have some legitimacy. So regardless of what he says, right, how he acts in the public, I don't really care too much. If the concepts work, and I know they work because they do, and they can make you money, that's all that should matter. Yeah, like at the end of the day, I don't get the people that hate and then refuse to look into it and just hate for no reason, because it's like you're preventing yourself from having the opportunity to learn. If you've tried to learn and it's just too hard, well, that's fair. It's not for everybody. But I do think it's silly to say that the concepts don't work, right? Or that what he's teaching isn't true, because if you spent time, your own time researching it, it's just obvious to tell that it is true in some aspect. Content with enough, right here. That's why we have it on our chart. But no, that's fair. That's a valid problem. Especially with ICT, kind of as we said, right? It's so complicated that you could almost psych yourself out. You're looking for too many things at once, which then causes you to overtrade. And I'd say that's the biggest issue. Like the lack of simplicity, kind of the technical knowledge needed to learn the concepts, makes it hard to not overtrade until you really understand what you're looking for, because you tend to see, right, a lot of setups once you learn the concepts. It's a matter of finding where the best setups are going to form. I did, yeah, for some time. So that's primarily what I did, right? I did Apex, Top Step, and then I had my own options account. For the time being, we're no longer allowed on Apex. I don't know if you guys have been seeing that, but they sent out a lot of emails banning people from buying evals. I was one of them. People were making too much money. So now I just have a little personal account, which I think I'll probably do props again though. A lot of new props are popping up. Top Step's the classic. I'll probably go back to Top Step. Yeah, for me, right, they had that I had gambling eval practices or whatever, which I can't be upset, because to be honest, right, and I've even explained this, I did kind of play their evals a little bit because it's easy to pass. I was like, what I do when I would get my evals is I would wait till we had high impact news events. I would buy a few accounts and then I would just hedge them against each other. Right, so I'd go long and short, half and half. Half of them would pass immediately, and the other half I wouldn't really care about, because, right, who cares? So that's what I do to stack up accounts, which, well, that's valid. I can see why they're butthurt about it. A lot of people did it though, so I know a lot of people that also got banned. I know a lot of traders that were just profitable that got banned. I think they're just trying to purge a lot of their best traders, to be honest. Because Apex thing is set up to act like, if you know how to trade, you can absolutely abuse their rules 100%, which I think they finally caught on to and realized. But yeah, they had a lot of different reasons for bans. Cantra, honestly, right at the end of the day, it's an unregulated space, so it's always risky. That's the second time I've been burned. I had like 4 accounts with my Forex funds when they, or no, what, I forgot their name. Yeah, my Forex funds. My funded. Yeah, my Forex Fund is who it was when they first went under. Got burned then. Apex now. I think we'll try Top Step. I've had Top Step accounts in the past. Take profit. I haven't heard that. I've seen those ads, but see, that's kind of like a newer one. I'm kind of old in the game, man. When I first started, we had FTMO, Apex. For futures anyways, we had Apex, Top Step, that was it. So I haven't ventured. I know there's a lot in there, like Take Profit. What's another one I've seen? Tradeify is another one I see a lot. Take Profit. All right, I might try that. I doubt they banned Kyle, man. Jade. We'll see though, who knows. I'm watching this. This would be a short opportunity right here. We leave the 4 hour. We reject off new week opening gap low. We have this low of day untapped. So right, just into low day like that maybe. Let's follow that little scalp. My funded futures. Okay, that's another one I've seen. Yeah, I just gotta do research. I'll look around. Okay. Yeah, I can give them a look. Forex, I was doing the same. So it was ICT concepts as well. Traded GU and EU primarily. And then moved over to futures. Look at that perfect low. What time is that? 10:42. I'll sort that low. We'll follow that. How do I keep myself from over trading? That's a good question. I would say something that helped me, prevented me from over trading, was journaling. So that's more of a process oriented, but right, if when you journal and you understand that setups tend to form over and over throughout the day, you kind of lose that sense of urgency, that sense of FOMO that causes over trading. It's like for us, right, I'm never really worried about over trading because I know that there's always going to be another setup. So if there is always going to be another setup, I don't need to take so many because I'll always be able to find them. Another thing is to have just hard kept limits for yourself. I kind of want to buy that. What is this? Is this a low right here? Let's see. So I'm just looking at this real quick. First presented, we didn't clear out those lows. 5 minute, 2 minute. We'll let it be. That might be a nice buy setup. Yeah, another thing I would do, right, is just to have hard limits for yourself. So like for me, something I've talked about is that if I ever lose 1%, so I tend to risk 0.5%, which would give me 2 trades a day of losing. If it's choppier day, I'll go to 0.25%, which will give us like 4 opportunities. But if I ever get to 1% loss, that's like my clear cut, right? I can't trade anymore, regardless of what happens. So having something like that just prevents yourself from even being able to overtrade. Of course, you still have to have the discipline to follow that. Right, so like for me, I'll just close the charts, do something else the rest of the day. Also got to ask yourself, why do you think you're overtrading? Like, is it something emotional to where you miss a move and then you're upset you missed the move, so then you're trying to like force and catch the next move? Or is it something to where you're just unsure of what your model is, so then anytime you see something presented, you feel like you have to take it? So kind of understanding what's causing the issues as well will help you. Buell Knox, I've never even heard of that. 91% off. They got the Apex discounts. God damn. Okay. Oh, Blue Knox or Bull Knox. Y'all got me. I'll look them up. Thanks. Y'all giving me some info. It is crazy how many prop firms are out there nowadays. I feel like trading blew up within the last, I don't even know, 3 years. One day pass with funding fees on high. Oh, okay. Yeah, I like the no activation fee places. If I'm being honest, I kind of like the Forex prop firms better. As far as like the rules, it was so much easier to pass those. They're no higher than top step. Okay. Yeah, I'll have to look. I'll have to look for sure. Do my research. Like I said, we're about to move here soon, so I'm kind of focusing on other things, but once we get settled, we're trying to be one of them high payout folks. It's time. Got the skills for it. Just got to spend some time locking in. $50Ks. No, we'll go max. We'll go for the highest. Should, or maybe we go with the lowest and just ends model it. I've always thought about that, making a series on YouTube where we just show how you can actually make a living off one account. That's all you need. One 50K account. That's all you need to secure yourself, bro. At this point, I'm trying to see if we're going to create a low here. We've kind of just been letting price wander at this point, right? Aimlessly wandering. Like we said, once we got below the 1 minute here, we would probably venture into the low of the 4 hour. We do high resistance, just a choppy delivery, but that's okay. The original short played out nicely. Now we're kind of waiting to see. I still do think low of day potentially. We can get new low of day here. We go high a day, we clear out the highs. So yeah, I would look for the low a day. I wonder if we can get, I guess we'll see. My win rate over the last few years, I would say my win rate probably sits between 60, 70%. Depending on, I guess, the market environment, how many trades I'm trying to take. As of late, it's gone slightly up because I've taken less trades just because we've been choppy. Right, so I'm kind of requiring a little bit more, I guess, price action is how I'd say it. Partials account is, oh, like winning? Yeah, for sure. I always do partials. Love me some partials. What time is it? 10:50. Okay, so we'll see 10:50 to 11:10. See if anything pops up, and if not, we'll call it a morning there. I'm almost watching 4-hour low. That's here. So we should get lower into low of day. That's what I want to see. Right, that's this low. Once we do that, we buy their turtle soup. Wait a minute, maybe we do that actually. Close. We might go. We haven't done a turtle soup in a minute. I'm kind of liking this though. Methodical delivery lower. Every time we run lows, it's a wick. Equal lows. Equal lows. Predetermined discount was never traded into. Let's try one more. We're gonna go very low risk here. I just want to try this trade here. Yeah, 0.25%. So on the tap of that, we're gonna try to turtle soup that. So as we run out low of day and trade into the 15-minute right here, try to get on that, boom, and then look for a retracement back into the range. Oh, we might have missed it. We'll see. Any goals with my YouTube? I mean, nothing specific, I guess, just to grow it. We'll see where that leads us, but nothing too, I guess, clear cut. If I could ever get, let's see, would be sick. 1,000 live viewers at once. That'd be cool. Damn, we missed that. We should have turtled. I was trying to get the fair value gap, but we might have just went right on the liquidity. See if we don't want to give one more run lower. I do have a Discord, but that's primarily for just if you want to talk with me, or like if you have questions throughout the day or something like that. More access. It also has videos of just how I use concepts, or so like the breakers, how I use OBs, volume imbalances, how I do top downs. And then it also has like the market recaps I would do. So at the end of the day, just I'd go through and then I'd kind of talk through price, what took place. I used to do my live streams in there, but I've kind of moved it to YouTube for the time being. We may kind of start using it again, but for now it's primarily just for extra access and extra materials. So we held that bearish fair value gap. That's kind of what I'm wanting to see if this is gonna work out for us. All right, hold that. Run out this low, we'll enter and then accelerate. That's what we're gonna try. Been in Discord but lazy. Yeah, that's fine. I'm lazy too. Like I said, I'll be honest, it's not really like a right? Community in the sense of people talking in there during the day because we're doing live streams. It's more so just, yeah, extra info when needed. If I'm being honest, I always felt like trying to talk and text midday while it's going on could be tough. Geez, dude, yeah, I gotta be better at that. Kind of neglected for a minute and got a lot of scammers. Damn scammers. Gotta go through and just find everyone that has my name and get rid of them. Oh, nice. Okay, wasn't even paying attention. So we get entered there on that. Like I said, with a soup like this, bro, we're just gonna go 5 handles. Would get us here. We'll be out at that high. We're just trying to catch a little scalp to end the morning. Bounce out that. Now we want to see us basically retest this and then get above it. If we do that, then we could adjust our stop. Yeah, we can just get 5. We'll look for that. A little ends model to end the morning. Morning ends model. Which would get us right back kind of into the 4-hour low. So I don't mind that. Try to bounce from here up into the 4-hour low quickly. And then we'll be good. We do have a little first presented, right? Let me go to a 2-minute real quick, pop this up. So first presented here, I like this. So I like that we were able to wick into our entry, but I want to see us hold from here now. And try to get back above. We've closed below it, closed above it. Now we're trying to get back below it. So we'll see. We may just keep stepping lower, right? Really, as we said, ever since we get below the 4-hour here, all the highs are protected. We ran out the equal highs here barely, but we even left that high and that high and created a new high. High, equal highs, high, equal highs. So yeah, just so many highs. Retesting that, that's fine. That's the original liquidity. So I'd just like to see us hold from here quick and try to at least run out, right? We have highs here, here, so many highs left behind. 10:57, so we got 10 more minutes here in this macro time frame. We'll see if we can get something within the next 10 minutes. For the time being, I'll be right back. A little coffee refill. Do we have any coffee drinkers in here? That's the real question. I just started like a year ago. I'm fresh to it. Big fan. Holding the low, holding the low. I tried doing it black for the first time the other day. Nah, I don't get how people do that. I gotta be top 3 worst things of all time. 28, just turned 28, May 14th. Had to buy my own brew. What? This guy's got his own brewery? What do you mean? Oh, I see what you mean, coffee brew. I was like, what? You're great, you're rich. Yeah, I do like the taste. I got into it. Has to be flavored though. Oh, aggressive. All right, so let's see if we get stopped here. If we fall right through that 15, that's what we're looking at. 1 minute. So if this 15-minute candlestick were to close inside of that, we should be stopped, is my guess. We'll find out. We did hold consequent encroachment, so that's nice. Maybe that'll be the low. Once again, new low input. So yeah, all lows. Holy cow. We have not got one run on buy stops. Besides, I guess this barely, but we wouldn't even count that. Coffee. Yeah, my girlfriend got me a nice little brewer for my B-day. Because she knows now. Get me my coffee. watching these volume imbalances here. So for me, right, if we were to accelerate and get back above here, this is what I would want to see. Right now we're stuck, so this is low of day, right? This is going to be a key level. Yeah, 15 just closed. Okay, so the 15 was able to hold consequent encroachment of the 15-minute after hitting the low. We were unable to hold the high of it, right? So we weren't able to close above, and we weren't able to actually close above this range. So as I see that, that makes me think that we actually will probably attempt another run on this low. We'll see though. If we can get back above, as we're saying, if we can close back above this, we have a new stop loss that we could use. So we'll go ahead and adjust our stop to this swing point, because now we shouldn't really get back below the 15-minute. That is a terrible rejection point. Oh my, what was that? Jeez. My fault, my fault. So we want to see this push. And right, this here, we want to get back above this. I like that a lot. So if we close here, yeah, we'll go stop. We shouldn't come into the 15-minute low anymore, so I don't want to see that low. So now we're able to cut risk. Okay, so I'm content with that actually. We cut risk. We now target, as we said, 5 handles for an exit, which would put us at 23. And honestly, this volume imbalance right here is calling my name. So we're gonna go like this and then close a majority at 5 handles. The 5 handle partial would be here. We're gonna have to go like this. And then we'll sell 3 right there at 5. Stop loss here, that's sell slide. 1, 2, 3, drives lower, accelerate into first presented. Only issue is we may get stuck here. So now I'm watching and I don't want us to be stuck there. I'd like us to kind of slice right up and through that. And then right here's the 4 hour, so retest the 4 hour. So let's get partialed out. Once we get partialed out, we go break even. We have an issue of midpoint of this first presented and potentially causing us hesitation. Perfect delivery into it. So now we watch midpoint. Right, midpoint might get us stuck there. At this point, can't move stop because we can retest this and still hold this low. So stop will remain here until we can either get partialed or we get stopped out, and then oh well. You've cut out all sorts of You've cut all sorts of dopamine spike drinks and addictions. You've cut out all that? That's good. Be natural. I don't really do energy drinks at all. Just coffee now. Not a fan of this here, right? We need to get above that. Instead, we slam into its high. So if we can hold the low, that's good, but more than likely, we may come back all the way down. Would definitely not want to see us venture below this. Because now I think we may just kind of get stuck here. Yeah. So we may start bouncing between. Right, come back down into this. Get stuck here, come back down. We'll see. Delayed gut facts. That's very true. Especially if you're trying to trade. Delayed gratification. Build that discipline. That's hot, that's hot, that's hot. Right, acceleration. Let's see. Come on now. Let's see if we can get above midpoint. So what we don't want to see now is the low of this start to offer us resistance, kind of like it is now. Because now that we've hit midpoint, if we're struggling to get into the low, that's bearish. So we'd want to see price attempt to venture back into the midpoint, close above its midpoint. Ideally get us partialed out right there. Boom, beautiful. All right, so now we're partialed. So now I'm comfortable going like this. We leave that low, boom, boom, boom. I'd want that to be the last line of defense. So we're break even. Lines portion off here. We are going to target midpoint of first presented here, which is also the liquidity void. Right, this is a different type of volume imbalance because when this candlestick opens, it does not make any attempt to return into this candlestick's close. So a true gap in price, always going to be a magnet on price as we retrace into that. Pair that with the fact it's our first presented, and boom, we're out. Perfect. All right, well, that is it for today. I do think we may want to come back like up into new week opening gap, but as we said, we're content with that. Just a quick little scalp to end the morning. I think we can get these equal highs. Yeah, there's a lot of buy side in here if you want to keep holding that, but we're good. Oh yeah, with the closure above, yeah, that's clean. So we should just keep running, but we good where we at. So yeah, we'll go ahead and kind of walk through a little trade recap for today. So originally, as we get to the chart, we understand we're within our new week opening gap. We're consolidating a previous day high, so we're kind of expecting consolidation. I wanted to see lower prices, right? So as we continue to run higher, we're simply waiting to see if we can't catch this short. So we trade up into a 1 minute bearish fair value gap. We leave the new week opening gap, this white shaded area, and as we're leaving that, we create a bullish fair value gap that is also our first presented. So this is going to become a key area for us. That's our area of interest. We wanted to see lower prices in the sell side, so now we're waiting to see if we can't invert our first presented and trade back into our new week opening gap. Right, that's simply what we're waiting for. We trade into consequent encroachment, spend some time consolidating in here, and then boom, we fall right through that first presented, closing below, creating the inversion. For us, that's all we needed to see, right? That's exactly what we expected. So we got short on that with our stop above the most recent swing point here, targeting that sell side as we mentioned. So price trades up into that. We actually don't even return any higher, so we get short really on the highest candle there. The only opportunity we had to get short. We then partial out of 5 handles, partial again at a swing low paired with the volume imbalance, and then our final exit right on that sell side pull. So a clean short there, using first presented as an inversion paired with the high of the new week opening gap, just to target short-term sell side. Once we did that, we were kind of looking for a retracement back up into the range. So we tried to get long here, right, as price cleared a short-term low, created a bullish fair value gap. Instead, we fall right through that, holding the new week opening gap high. And then from there, we simply were waiting for more price action. So we continue to trade lower, we create a swing point, we create another swing point at low of day. And once we do that, we kind of understand that we have all this buy side left behind. We've only been clearing sell side. And if we're going to consolidate, we don't expect the low of day to get traded through and then for price to run. We expect the low of day to get hit and price to revert back into that range. So once we hit low of day here and create that wick, we understand we have a higher time frame fair value gap just below. We go ahead and turtle soup that. So now we're entering on a sweep of that low, returning into a low of day, and also returning into a higher time frame fair value gap. Our stop was below that fair value gap. Right, and as you see, we get entered here. We'd get one more run just to reprice into the low of the actual 15. And then once we do that, we accelerate higher, breaking back above the premium fair value gap here. We're able to partial out of 5 handles, and then we get our final exit right at the volume imbalance, which actually ends up being the swing high. So nice. Swing low to the swing high. Yeah, we'll leave you all with that. All right, that second trade didn't even need to be much, just a quick little ends model. And now we're retracing, yeah, probably right back into this right here, previous day low. So price will tend to consolidate around daily key areas. So that makes sense. And that's the first presented fair value gap here, which is why we wanted to be out, because we could probably reject as we're seeing. So nice, good morning overall. Kind of sloppy delivery in here, but we understand what we're looking for. So after taking that short or that small loss, we're able to make it back in more. Going forward, let's see. Let's kind of hide all this. So where are we at in price? So we've just cleared, let's go to like a 4 hour real quick. Right, because I originally wanted to see highs here. Inversion, short-term low cleared into the daily, accelerate. Institutional order flow, accelerate. Short-term high cleared. So maybe daily fair value gap. Okay, so I still like bullish, right? Looking at this daily here, to me, that's more bullish. Huge run lower, low, high, lower, low. We break above this high, with the volume imbalance and the fair value gap. That's our breaker. We would trace into the breaker, into the bullish fair value gap. We hold its body, unable to get into consequent encroachment. We then accelerate away, closing above. Yeah, so like, right, if this was a 1 minute chart, we would expect price to reach into this high. So macro sense, I still want to see really higher prices, but in the short term, we'll kind of have to play with that. Like in the short term, we may need to pick up some lows. I could see us returning into this 4 hour here. So we'll just play it by ear. Yeah, especially right like this 1 hour, that's pretty bearish. Short-term high cleared, we break through the low. Okay, so macro sense, I would expect higher prices overall, but in the short term, we may have to go lower. So that is what I would expect. Just into some of these lows, potentially. First presented down here. But yeah, we'll let that be. So tomorrow we have, let's see what we got for news tomorrow. Jobless, 7:30. Oh, we have FOMC minutes this afternoon too, I forgot. That's why we were expecting the consolidation. Alright, so tomorrow a lot of high impact news at 8:30 Eastern, so it'll just be a normal stream. We'll be here about 9:25, 9:20 Eastern. And yeah, we'll see how we open up and we see what we get. Until then, hope you guys found, I did take another one here, right? Just a quick long. Quick scalp, turtle soup, off a higher time frame for value gap as we hit low of day. Played out nice. But yeah, as long as there's no other questions. Oh, there's one more question. The max I'll ever do, like I said, is probably 4. Most often less than that. But yeah. It won't be more than 4 most of the times. And that's because usually if we have a winner, right, we like to keep it small. Here we did 3, 2 winners and 1 loser, so that's usually about the max. If we do all losses, it'll be 4. Usually if I do 2 winners in a row, it'll be done for the day as well. But cool, yeah, if that was it, then we should be good to go. Hopefully we see you guys tomorrow morning. Until then, be safe everyone, have a good rest of the day, and we will talk tomorrow. See you guys.